going, guys? We're back to
Hi guys!
Welcome back to the channel. Tonight is a special night. We are finally moving on to the inside of the bus.
We're not just renovating a vehicle anymore.
Just about like the past probably almost a year now, actually. Yeah. We've basically been restoring a vehicle.
There we go.
Making sure that our bus has good bones. Subfloors kind of marks the starting point for the actual house build and the things that we're not well versed in. So there'll be a lot of learning ahead of us.
Hopefully no trial and error, just the trial, not the error. So tonight we're going to be starting our subflooring process with our foam board insulation. Went with 2-inch thick Foamular 250 XPS. So the reason why we went with this is because the R value is great. We are doing a floating subfloor, so we will need that thickness. We'll also be able to take on all that pressure because we're not going to be framing it out or anything.
On top of the pink foam board insulation, we are going to be gluing with this Loctite Premium PL3 product. It's a construction adhesive. We're going to be gluing this Advantech OSB subflooring board. It's 3/4 inch thick. The reason why we're not going to be framing the subfloor itself is because the foam board insulation, between the foam board insulation and this Advantech OSB board, it's going to be rigid enough to hold all the weight that we're going to be putting into it.
Oh my
Brand new. This is literally the first time we've used it.
If you could measure your disappointment, how many feet?
15 feet 9 inches of disappointment. So our bus is not a full 8 foot, like this 8-foot sheet. We're trimming these to fit the width of the bus anyway. We're gonna take those drops and then we're gonna trim those down to 2 inches. That way we can use them as thresholds in our doorways for the rear door and the handicap door.
Tell us about the problem and then the plan B.
Plan A, we're gonna use these and it's just dumb. So instead we're gonna use wood like it's intended for. And since we need a spacer, we're going to tack screw this into the wall with wood to metal screws, and then we'll use wood to wood screws like so. Doing this also that the seal of the door and this latch here all clear and we don't have a weird void of space.
Show me the latch.
So this sticks out off the face roughly 1/4 inch, 5/8.
That's what we want our handicap door. It's giving us a little bit of an issue.
These sheets conveniently have halfway cut lines for 1/3 and 1/2. Pre-cut only halfway through roughly. You can actually just, probably could snap them, but I don't trust it.
For 40 bucks a sheet, 50 bucks a sheet.
Cut it all the way through with a knife instead of trying to snap it. I think I inched myself. Instead of doing 89 3/4,
Yeah.
I might have inched myself and did 88 3/4.
Is that what they call it? Inching yourself?
You call it inching yourself, where you plus or minus yourself 1 inch. You fabricators and contractors and builders know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, you're lying.
So we do have a little bit of a gap, but...
Because this is supposed to be tight to the wall, but it's off by 1 inch.
Yeah.
We'll just fill it with spray foam.
Yeah.
But my bad. Not terrible.
Not terrible.
Okay, so there's a filler neck ascending unit.
Yeah?
Yep. So we put new sheet metal in, or we never recut an access hole for the sending unit because we weren't sure if we were going to want one or need one. But there is still a notch in the old cross member right there where the old hole used to be. So it kind of will be a little guide for us. There's an extra port on the diesel sending unit. One of these is capped, maybe this one right here. I'm not sure, I can't really see. But if that is an unused port that is just capped, we're going to hopefully find a way to tap into that and run our diesel heater off the same tank as the bus. We have our pinhole, so we're gonna take the villain bit.
My favorite.
The villain bit. We'll make this hole bigger and we'll have a little peephole, and then we can kind of decide how big of a hole to make. Sounds good. Who knows? And there is 4 ports, one with a green clip that you can notice that there's no line going to it. Believe that is for when a vehicle has dual tanks, which we only have a single, but that line, I believe, don't quote me on this, is to tie the 2 tanks together, so when this main tank is running low, it feeds off the other one, the secondary tank, to fill it. We can use that, hopefully to our advantage, to tie into that and use it for our diesel heater.
Now's the time.
New tool time. Gotta love Black Friday deals. Bought 2 batteries, got a jigsaw for free. At a low price of $200 for batteries.
Remember that night we didn't do any bus work because we were standing at Home Depot?
In Home Depot for 2 hours. That'll be our box for our fuel tank.
It's time for the show to begin. I'm nervous as hell to begin. Thinking of what you said as the lights come on. Revealing the look on my face. My feelings will give me away. Woo! Turning away, I close my eyes. Like a fluid flame, she dances to the songs that I sung.
All right, sir. Down to our last section of flooring tonight.
Last section.
Last section. This is gonna be the toughest part.
No, that was definitely the hardest part. The
Yeah.
trapdoor for that and
Yeah.
notching around the fuel filler.
I love that we keep calling it a trapdoor.
It technically is a trapdoor.
What are we
We're
trying?
texting.
But yes, our access door, or trapdoor. Now we're going to have to be notching for our stairs.
The objective: do a threshold for the bus body to the van body. Cut our half sheet that we have left. Notch it around the stairs and glue it, and then cut our last piece of OSB board. Notch it around the stairs. Notch it for the filler neck or the trapdoor, and screw it down to the threshold, and glue it down to the rest of everything else.
And voila, then we'll paint. We'll have our subfloor.
Turning away, I close my
Last piece of foamular installed.
Yes. Oh shit.
Blueprint for our last woody. The last piece of wood.
Scorning my advances and the magic comes undone. With the curtains closed, it can never be the same. The same.
So today, for our last one final bit of our subfloor, we are going to be painting the subfloor. So we literally went to Home Depot and we said, what is the cheapest interior paint that you have? So basically we just want to stop this wood from being alive. We want it to breathe as little as possible because when it breathes, it expands, it contracts, it does all this stuff. So we want to just protect it. Peace. So we're going to be using the Kills 2. I think this quart was like $12. So we're just going to go ahead, roll on some paint. And first I got to go ahead and clean all this stuff up, dust the floor, just sweep it up real nice, and then we're just going to finish our subfloor up with a nice coat of paint. This is all we have left. And this is where we ran out, of course.
Second coat of paint is on. The floor looks great. Don't mind that, that'll be hidden. Next thing we're gonna do is just go on to all of the seams, all around the edges where we left a little space between the wall and the wood, so that way there wouldn't be a thermal bridge. Go around with some great stuff, fill those in, any other little nooks and crannies that might have space, and button it up.